Live.
Yo, yo, yo.
What's up? What's up?
What's up, everybody? We are here, man. It's Kicking It 316. And, man, we're just grateful that you all have taken time out of your busy evenings to kick it with us, man. We're going to go around and introduce ourselves. We got a special guest. We're going to be introducing in just a moment. But since I got the microphone, I'll go ahead and be selfish today and start with myself. It is just your boy Croc Kicks, aka B, aka Shay, aka Butter. Man, we here, man. Let's get it started, man.
Oh, I'll go. Hold on. Let me get my cup ready first.
Oh, okay. Ooh, official. Yeah, we got merch.
Just want y'all to see that before I introduce myself. But it's your boy Ted here in the old Central Florida, man. AKA AJ, AKA Anthony, AKA call me anything. Just don't call me ugly because my wife think I'm beautiful. So that's it, man. Pass on over to Gio.
You're beautiful, beautiful.
Beautiful.
This is your boy Gio, all the way from the bottom. We're down here in the 305. And I want to give a quick shout out to all my peoples, especially my church folk, West Park Seventh-day Adventist and Unity Seventh-day Adventist. A big shout out. Hopefully, y'all are tuning in tonight. And definitely, we're here tonight to have a good time. We have a great program put together. And like they said, I'm Gio, a.k.a. Teddy Riley, a.k.a. Babyface, a.k.a. Dr. Dre. I'm just a production. That's what I do. Let's go.
Man, wonderful, man. Once again, thank you all for logging in, hanging out with us. And if y'all would, please, man, go ahead and hit that share button, hit that like button. We want to get as many people in here as possible as we get ready to kick this thing off. Go ahead, hit that share, hit that like button, and we're going to get right into things. All right, man. We always start this show off talking about the kicks. You see the shoes behind me. You see the shoes behind Ted, and best believe Gio got some kicks tucked away. So
they're in the vault.
Some click cases, get them on the click.
Nah, I keep my stuff in the vault. Y'all out here.
Y'all out here. You down in Miami, bro.
Folk know your addresses. Folk know your addresses. It's a different world over here.
Especially when you ain't got that wet.
Yeah. Well, if you got that tool,
I got a 66 Magnum. You hear me? 66 Genesis all the way to Revelation. Come on, try them if you want some.
Hey, nah, that's cool. Hey, while we're waiting, let's get a quick plug, man, for our merch, man. We have to thank Miss Glorianne I Am Blessed. I believe that's her name on Facebook.
Yo, big shout out.
Yeah, we got mugs, we got T-shirts. So we appreciate it. Just want to show some love. You good? You good? We good. Hey, we
waterworks.
We got like nothing happened. So we got that merch. So we appreciate it, man. Just want to give her a shout out for that.
Yeah, I mean it was out of love, and we just appreciate it, like AJ said. Teddy Boy Ted. What we doing first?
Let's get started with these kicks, man. Let's start off with the LeBron 17s that are dropping. They're gonna drop July 28th. They're going to drop for $225. Now, I'm not going to lie. $225 is a lot of money for some LeBrons.
That's exactly why, I'm a LeBron fan, but that's exactly why they end up at the outlets.
Right. Now, but I will say, I was talking to Gio earlier, man. If I just had money, man, if I just had some money to blow, I would cop these.
You talking about which one? The cold blue, the graffiti cold blue?
Yeah.
Oh, they up on the screen now. They fresh. These are fresh to death. I ain't gonna lie to you. These are fresh to death. But my bad. I didn't mean to jump in. Go ahead, fam.
No, go ahead, man. So they got the cold blue. Look at that, man. Look at that colorway, man. They got the graffiti on the side. If you look at the shoe, it reminds you a little bit of the foams, right?
Yeah.
So this is kind of a mixture of the foam posits with a little air technology there, man.
Air bubble. Mm-hmm.
So
it's also a remake of they had some black ones that came out. So it's a remake of those as well. So.
And I wonder, this is probably around Olympic time, so I wonder if these were probably scheduled to come out around the Olympics, man. But you got the cold blue, and he's also going to drop the fire reds, man.
Mm-hmm.
The fire reds, man. Both of these, honestly, like I said, man, I'm well documented not being a LeBron fan anymore, man. He came to Miami, won a couple of chips, and got up out of there, man.
Hey, hold on. Can I give a shout out to my dog Christopher Vaughn? he's the king of foam posits. Like he has all of them. I go to his house in New York, and he has like he keeps some things pristine too. So I think when you said these are akin to the foam, he chimed in. Yeah,
He chimed in. He want those.
yeah.
All right. So both of these are dope shoes, man. If I just had some money to blow, man, if I get that second stimulus check soon enough, man, I might I might go ahead.
Old Stimmy show up.
You know what I'm saying? Don't hate me. Don't judge
No,
me.
and
Don't
when the
judge me,
stimmy
man.
comes, I'm not going for these. Y'all already know what time it is.
Listen,
Okay, we're gonna get to that.
You know,
Get to that.
you know, we keep it real with everybody. I would tell you, save your money. Wait for it to hit the outlet. They're going to hit. They're going to hit. They're going to hit the outlets. Save your money, and I think when it gets to outlet, they probably drop down sometime like 150. So I mean, you can save $75 cool, man. And I'm a LeBron fan, so
yeah, LeBron James shoes.
I'm telling you this, you know it's real.
LeBron James shoes belong in the outlet anyway, so it's all good.
Don't be disrespectful, dog. Don't be disrespectful. I think it's a price. It's a price point. I think it's a price point that drives it there.
Yeah. All right, man. And then Ted, I'm not sure if you have it in front of you. Want to grab this next one, man? The Jordan 1 Retro High, the satin snakes, man. What you think about these satin snake ones, man?
Man, you know I'm a ones fan, so
I do.
That's why we gave you this one. This is down your alley.
What did it come out? August 6th, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, August 6th. Yeah, so I like them. I think they are. I think so. This is my problem. You have so many of the black and red colorways or bread colorways that it sort of becomes sort of redundant. I understand they got satin. I understand that the color blocking is different, but it sort of becomes redundant because like how many black and red ones
can you get?
Do you
need? Do you really gotta have? So I mean it's a women's shoe, so maybe that'll make a difference, you know, give the women some options. I mean, it's clean. I'm not gonna lie, it's a clean colorway.
Clean cut.
How many of that colorway do you need? So
I like I like the little snake patterns they have on it. I know it's not real snake skin, but it just gives you that illusion.
It's clean
classy.
though.
It's classy.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can get the Chicago Reds or the Red Toes or whatnot, I think that's a good one to cop if you can get the other ones.
I'm surprised they only 170 with the snakeskin on it. Normally Jordan brand, when they add a little extra type of fabric or whatever to it, they try to upcharge it, but 170 is a standard price. So
it is.
I think they'll sell out though.
And I do too. And I would say, you know, this is kind of a down week for releases, man.
Yeah.
And possibly because maybe one of the sneakers of the year thus far dropped this weekend that passed, man. Gio, tell us about this shoe, man.
Yo, I'm gonna be very honest with you. I knew that as an Adventist, I wasn't gonna get him on release day, so I wasn't even trying. But I said to myself, maybe, just maybe, that the resale would be nice. But let me just go back. These are Air Jordan 4 sales. These are women's shoes.
Clean.
But
clean,
listen,
though.
I'm going to be very honest with you. Everybody wanted these shoes. I think they only produced or made 56,000. They did an early release on a Thursday. So if you had in the sneakers app, you had set your stuff up for women's shoes. Virgil did it so that women would get it first. And so most people in your sneakers app, you have to say whether you're male or female. And if you set yours out as a female, you got the prompt for the shock drop that happened on Thursday, and so then they had a release on the 25th, I think it was. So most of us Adventists couldn't get it. Some of them probably did, but most of us couldn't get it. And then, but let me just say this: the thing, if someone said it didn't matter, the thing about it was, I was trying to get those things on resale, but the price now is like $1,800 for these shoes.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
I don't know.
It's a wrap. I don't know. It's a wrap for me. It's
a $200 pair of shoes resale $1,800 is crazy.
Block. I can't see it, block.
So one thing that does normally happen though, with a hype shoe like this, the reseller jump up and then it would drop down.
Go back down.
To what? Drop down to what?
I think it may drop. And then it probably ride off like $1,800 to $2,000 for the life of the shoe. So
I will say on this particular shoe, there were ways in which you could shoot a shot in advance, man. There were various stores and websites that had raffles.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
did register for one raffle on the low, through showroom. And it's a little competition. I know we brothers, man, but I want the shoe sometimes, and I don't want my brother to get the shoe.
and
I wanna be able to flex on him too.
and
You know,
to be
so
honest,
that's why we can't get ahead. You
to
know
be
what I'm saying?
crabs in the bucket.
But I did sign up for a raffle. Gio, did you sign up for any raffles?
Man, that sounds like at least 20 raffles. And this is how I knew I was gonna get them because no one ever emailed me back to say I hit. So it is what it
It
is.
is.
It is what it is.
Well, y'all, man, if you all had a chance to check out our preview that we put out just a few moments ago, man, you know that we have a really, really important little bit of the backdrop, man, some of the details that are going on, some of the statistics surrounding this pandemic, man. And as you look at this, man, you see the visual says average daily cases per 100,000 people, and you see, and here in America, man, we red. We red. We look at the number of deaths that are on this call. We live in Florida, Alabama, and Georgia. Currently, Florida's positivity rate is 19%. Alabama's 19% also, and Georgia was 14.3%. That was before Lil Boosie had his little pool party. Was that in Georgia? Was that in Georgia? Yeah, so we expected a little spike after that. And so yeah, man, you know, you see testing has a lot of people anxious, man. My wife went and got tested today as a requirement to return to work. All employees of her institution have to go and get tested, and there was some anxiety that she had getting it done. Unfortunately she did share with me how it was done, so I won't have any surprises. I wish I didn't know the tactics, so I wouldn't be thinking about it if I ever have to go and get tested, man.
Brother,
But yeah, man.
if I can interject, so one of the things that I think is a big issue is that I keep seeing it constantly, day in and day out. I see families of 5 and 6 people walk into a store, walk into a gas station. None of them have a mask over their face, and these are parents with their kids. And I think is people still aren't taking this seriously. They think it's a joke. They think it can't happen to them. They think, that it's some type of, it's fake news, or it's just going to disappear, and people aren't taking it seriously. And until people take it seriously, man, this thing is it's just going to be around. It's not going to go anywhere, because people just going to not take it seriously, get infected, then share it with somebody else, because then they're going to be affected. The kids are going to be affected, and with the people trying to open schools, kids going to be going to school and infecting other kids. So I think until people take it seriously, man, and stop trying to politicize it, it's just going to be around.
And I think you said it best. The last thing you said is just the whole how it's people have made it a political issue, and we just want facts. Like for me, I don't care what the facts are. I just want to know that I'm safe, what precautions to take.
See you. This is live.
We want facts. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I want to go ahead and bring our guest on right now. It's a good friend of mine, Pataski, man. Go ahead and bring him in. And man, this is my Tallahassee brother. You know what I'm saying? Like we roll together, man. We kick it together, man. When I'm in Atlanta, man, we hang out, man. We catch up, man. We came from the same city. Got mutual friends, man. And I reached out to him. I know that he had been through this COVID-19 pandemic, man, experienced it firsthand. And I know that he had shared his story online. So I went ahead and reached out to him, and he took the invitation, man. Go ahead. And actually, man, y'all, we actually got balance tonight for the very first time, because, we all are from the state of Florida. There's only one true football program in Florida. That's Florida State. But Ted and Gio, they're Hurricane fans, and Putaski here is
Still
a
talking
gator.
freaking blasphemy.
It's a gator, man.
I don't think
So
I don't think that there'll ever be balance in that conversation.
we got
Fam.
balance. We got
No.
balance. We got balance.
I don't
We got
know.
balance. But man, please, man, just tell us a little bit about yourself, man. What do you do for a living? Your training. What are you getting ready to step into? Just a little bit about yourself, man.
So right now I live in Atlanta. I've been a paramedic for 16 years. I just stepped away from an ambulance to pursue law. So I'm actually in law school right now. Started last week.
Run.
So yeah, that's what everybody's telling me, man. But you know, it's a challenge. I'm enjoying the newness of it. I have that same excitement that I had when I started paramedic school. It's fresh. It's something I can dig into, kind of take the edge off of life in a sense, and learn some new skills and kind of use those skills in not only law but in life and dealing with people every day. I think and to be quite honest, having some experience in the legal field just from handling issues that I've encountered, it really did help me through this COVID thing, man. People say that life is so interconnected, and it is. One step in one realm really does impact you and can impact you to the good or the bad in every other field, So it's a really good thing, I think.
Absolutely, man. Before we get into your story, man, there's this thing, man, we dubbed called COVID shaming, man. COVID shaming, to where, man, it's this culture of, if you have COVID-19, man, it's just so much pressure, so much shaming going on, to where you're almost embarrassed to come out, man, to let people know, for fear of what people are going to act or to just treat you differently, man. Yeah. And so I noticed you came out, you shared your story, man. Did you ever feel any of the COVID shaming or experience any of that?
I didn't. And fortunately, I'm very tight with my community. As you know, I keep my business to myself. At least I try to. And that keeps the problems in life to a minimum, and it helps you keep a positive spirit when you have people and you can only see the people that are rooting for you. So, that's why I don't, I think I got 200 friends on social media, and these are all people that I've had some kind of direct contact
with.
Real
interaction.
Exactly. It's not invisible individuals that I, never met in my life or never had any real communication with. So being able to come out and speak to those people, because that's who I was talking to, all I felt was support. All I felt was love. I felt that genuine caring spirit that we had back in the day. I remember when you could walk down the street and your neighbors waved at you because they cared. You know what I mean? And they spoke up for you and they got onto you because they cared. So when I shared my story, I got nothing but love, and the people that knew behind the scenes before I shared it, nothing but love, nothing but respect, and most importantly, they offered to do things. They offered to buy me groceries. A couple of them did bring and drop stuff off. So those are the people that exactly, yeah, and that's the kind of community I think we need to get back to help get rid of that COVID shaming, as you described it.
And Croc Kicks, I know we're not on that subject, but I like the end of what Mr. B is speaking about, like the reality of having that community. I think that's key, especially going through a pandemic. If you don't have a community that you can rely on or that you can be a part of, I think it makes it harder going through what you go through, being that you have to be isolated, right? And so, I think that, kudos to your community. I don't know who they are, but I'm gonna get me about 200 of them too.
Yeah. And you mentioned something too, is that isolation part, right? So it's more than just the physical isolation. It's that mental isolation that comes along with it. And without that family, without them keeping you positive, without them helping you to see that you will get through this, regardless of how you feel, that is more important than sometimes the tangible acts that people, that dropping the groceries off or that running errands for you. That's communication and knowing that positive vibe, so to speak. That's the most important thing, especially when you're in the house. And for me, it ended up being a more than a 3-week ordeal. So I was isolated in my home for 3 weeks. That's not natural. That's not normal. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I want to stay here for a moment, because what we are experiencing as far as is shaming, man, it's something that we also experience inside certain circles, whether it's our friend circles or whether it's church circles, where it's just this shame of you know falling, making a mistake, man. And you may be struggling with something in life, man. It may be mental health, it may be an addiction, it may be whatever it is, man. And for the fear of being shamed by your community, man, you're wrestling with this thing by yourself. And I just want to tell somebody, man, like there's nothing to be ashamed of. Like if you get COVID-19 or in the spiritual realm, if you're struggling with something, battling with something, it's nothing to be ashamed of, man. There are many people who are battling, struggling with the very same thing, man. And what's most important is that you surround yourself with a community that's going to be there for you, wrap their arms around you, and help you get through it, man. So
I want to ask Pataski, so what was your process? Because I understand this is almost like having leprosy to some people. Once you have it, then what was your process of, I guess, reacclimating yourself to the public, to being able to go out? I mean, with the small group that you told, how were you able to get back into, interacting with people? When did you feel okay, or do you now still feel sort of troubled about, interacting with people? How do you go about that?
Well, I don't think I ever felt like I needed to kind of reacclimate myself, right?
Okay.
Because what I felt was I think I felt the support and the love, and it was just a matter of being at home versus being isolated, and because those people, like I said, I had people dropping stuff off. I was on the phone with people. I got the texts and the FaceTimes from folks. So I never truly felt isolated. And I think that was the key for me in keeping that mental balance or that mental stability, is that I didn't feel like I had to, hop out of the cave, look at the sun like I could, like I didn't know what was going on, where are we in the world. So, and that was key for me. And then when I stepped back into it, it was almost like, how do I protect myself from getting it again?
Yeah.
And then how do I protect others so that they don't have to experience it? So it was a matter of, what didn't I do right last time? Because clearly I didn't do something right?
Gotcha.
So what do I do better this time to make sure that I'm not back in the same situation and I don't put somebody else in that situation?
Gotcha. And if I can go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, please.
I was just going to say, so if I can just to help us paint the picture. So how did you find out you had it? And how did you feel when you first found out that you had it? Because, some people are afraid. Some people don't know, what to do if they get that test back that says they have it. So what was your experience?
So like I mentioned in the beginning, I've been a paramedic for 16 years. And with that comes the whole signs and symptoms. You recognize, certain illnesses, even if it's a cold, you'll usually start off with some mild symptoms, night sweats, maybe a fever and stuff like that. So any kind of virus, those are the typical signs. And if we go a little deeper, for me, before, just maybe 2 weeks before this COVID thing, I'd found out that my white blood cell count had been low. Now, that's an ongoing battle for me. And one of the symptoms is that weakness. So there was an assumption that this is what I was dealing with. It wasn't, a virus. It was just a manifestation of my, white blood cell count being low. What was the kicker for me, honestly, was one day I woke up, and I remember like it was yesterday, and I had a cough. And usually when I get sick, I don't get a cough or I start sneezing, not a cough. And this was different. And the cough, it was so deep that it went into my soul. And it took me about 2 to 3 minutes to catch my breath. And it was just like, yo, like something's not right. I need to go to the hospital. And fortunately, there was the nurses there that night. I knew them all from working. And so they, processed me real quick, got me into an isolated room and really took care of me. And my COVID test came back in about an hour because they was looking out. And I confirmed positive. But all of the signs were there: the fever, the chills, the night sweats. I had all of those, but it didn't raise any flags because I sweat at night all the time, or you don't really know you have a fever because you just your whole body's hot. So how do you know it's that hot versus the fever hot.
I'm in the
So
South.
Gotcha.
It's hot all the time.
exactly,
Right.
especially in Atlanta,
Thank
Atlanta
you.
in July. So, so it wasn't until I got that deep cough that I was like, oh, something's not right.
Mm.
Wow.
Man.
But
So I guess you kind of hinted to it, man, but they say hindsight is 2020, so as you kind of retrace your protocols, because everybody has their protocols,
mhm.
right? And some of us, we feel like our protocols, our safety measures are airtight, right?
Hmm.
And one of the things that I'm realizing is, man, all of us have some gaps in our protocols, right? In our
Mm-hmm.
in our safety plan.
Mm.
But as you kind of look back at things, man, was there one thing you wish you would have done, or what would you do moving forward now to kind of help prevent yourself from getting it a second time? Because there is also this false idea out there that, like, once you get it once, you build this
Can't get it
immunity and you
again.
You
can't
build
get
that
it again,
immunity. Yeah.
right? So I thought that for a second, and when I
I
found out you
thought
can
so
get it
too.
multiple times, I was like, so yeah, man, what are you gonna do moving forward to kind of give yourself the best chance? I mean, it may not be 100%, but what are you gonna do to give yourself the best chance of not contracting it again?
I think the universal precautions, as they call them, washing your hands, wearing a mask in public. Now, I've worn a mask my entire career in certain situations. Typically, tuberculosis patients, other, immunocompromised individuals need you to wear a mask so that they don't catch something.
Yeah.
But there's so many different things that are airborne, right? And there's so many ways to contract something like COVID because it can be as simple as touching the same surface as someone and then touching your face.
Mm.
Mhm.
So there are so many different ways in which you can contract it.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing, and this is what I don't understand about people who are so anti-mask, right? If you could just take one step to reduce the possibility of you contracting something that you know is deadly because you've seen the statistics, and
Yeah.
unless you're just wildly a conspiracy theorist to that extreme, you have to believe that there's some validity to the fact that people are dying from something that's going on that is viral or easily contracted at this point. So if
Yeah.
you could just use one measure, which is a mask, to help protect yourself, why not?
Yeah.
Right? And even if you don't want to do that, then that's cool. Have a seat and let us do it. And so
Mhm.
that's all I'm saying. Just take those steps, take those easy universal precautions, do what you can. But other than that, just take care of yourself. Eat well, eat healthy, drink lots
Yeah.
of fluid. Those are key. Make sure that you have a healthy immune system so that if in fact you do contract it, you have a better chance at
To fight it
uh,
off.
exactly.
You drink your
Gotcha.
drink your bush tea. Listen, question I want to ask you. Well, there are many questions. People coming asking questions online. So I'm going to give you two. One is mine, and then the other one I think they go hand in hand. In terms of, so, Crowd Kicks asks you, if there's anything you could have done different to that you thought could have perhaps prevented it. My question is were you able to trace back your step as to where in fact
He knew that was
yeah,
coming.
so that's one question. And then Lavina, I guess her question, Lavina C, right,
she,
her question
yeah,
is
same
similar.
question.
How did he get it the first time?
Yeah,
and
nosy,
and
boy.
yeah,
And
and does
listen, but Tasky,
no,
feel if it's anything that's personal, feel
you don't
free
have
to
to answer
just
that. You don't
say,
have to answer
yeah,
the
you don't have to
question.
answer.
But even if I guess the question is, do you
My peoples.
were you were you personally able to trace it back to where it was? Because I think the misconception is that people just don't know where to get it from, right? And
Uh-huh.
so we don't need to know how you got it, but what I'm saying is, in your own personal introspective look at as you sat in your house for was it 3 weeks, were you able
Right.
to say, man, might have been when I went to the grocery store, were you able to figure that out?
I was actually, and I don't mind sharing. I think it's one of those tales where I think being honest helps people, right? The
Mm.
reality is and I'll go back and give a little backstory. The reality is we were on lockdown forever. You know it's about to be bad when I got to do that, right? Um, the reality is we were on lockdown for quite some time. So I actually went to a gentleman's establishment, and I'm fairly certain that's where I contracted it at, right? And it was a stupid move, but it was a valuable lesson, right? So the lesson is, whatever you feel like those urges are, there's always consequences if it's not the right step. And you know it's not the right step, but you move that way anyway. There's consequences for it. Are you prepared for those consequences? So as young men and women in today's society, especially being that we're Black, we have to understand that when we move, there could potentially be consequences for those actions. And so you step out and you take those steps. Just be prepared. Ain't no need to be mad. Ain't no need to, because a lot of times we could see it coming. And when I took that step, when I went there, it was a strong possibility based on the science, not even just the other part of it.
And I like what you're saying, because in a very real sense, a lot of people who have been locked down, the moment that these regulations are starting to come off, they feel, it's a free for all. House parties, pool parties, weddings, even we just went to a funeral yesterday. I mean, I guess whatever the circumstances, whether it's a necessary outing or not,
risk,
like you said, there's a risk that you have to say that you're willing to assume, not only for yourself. Like for us, like I'm married with a child, so when I do what I do, I'm assuming a risk not only for myself, but now for my wife and for my child as well. So very good point. Thank you so much.
No problem. And I'll also add too. I'm conflicted about the whole thing, right? I think we are rightfully worried, but I think that we have to be measured about what we do, right? And I'm not saying that the protocol isn't but this fighting, like you said, they've made it such a political issue, right? If you could get down to it, if you want to wear a mask and protect yourself, then that's what you should be able to do. If you don't, I don't see how forcing someone else to do it at this point, even though it is probably the safest, I don't think they're going to take those precautions seriously. And so I think we have to, do what's necessary for the community. And I think shutting down restaurants and doing all of that, but it becomes one of those things where you're fighting a battle with somebody who really, they don't want to participate. They don't want to, you can't win in a situation like that. So it's just, and opening schools, that's a whole nother thing. We don't have this thing under control yet. We're trying to open open the schools to get our, get kids back into one centralized place. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, that's on the agenda to talk a little bit later as well. Definitely. Yeah,
man. I think you hit on a couple of important points, man. Because for anybody who, of course, we talked about measures and places to go and whatnot, but man, it could have been anywhere, and I know a lot of people who have contracted COVID-19. No, I don't say a lot of people. I know some people, right?
Several people,
on their job, at the grocery store. And I think what I wrestle with is, man, like that balance of you can't literally stay home forever.
Right.
Can't stop living.
But in the same sentence, staying home,
Yeah.
And I was on Facebook scrolling one day, and one of my high school classmates, he was really bothered, man. He was upset because he's in the food industry, and he's being severely impacted by this pandemic and just the mask ordinance up in Tallahassee, Florida. And he was frustrated that, he wasn't able to provide for his family because of this, right? And I think, so I kind of sidestep just for a moment, man. I really think government has really put us in a pickle, man. They really failed us.
Yeah.
I mean, most of us have been paying our taxes most of our adult lives. And here it is. We are how many months into a pandemic, and all I got was $1,200. You know, I think for us to be one of the wealthiest countries in the world, man, there should have been way more aid and resources available to us. So when we start talking about defunding the police, and I'm on record as saying I don't like that term. I fully love what it means. But when we're talking about defunding the police, and we're talking about, I mean, just looking at the fact that we got this military, man, that is state of the art, and I'm grateful for a military. You know, I'm repping something right now. You know, my dad served in the armed forces. He's a captain in the Marines. We ate very well, you know,
Yeah.
because of that. We had a roof over our heads. But what I'm saying is what does it really matter right now? We got these stockpiles of nuclear weapons and all these airplanes that are sitting on runways, and we can't pay or help each other out when the nation needs it. It's okay to have those things. Like if as a nation and you have to have a military, even in Bible times, they had chariots, they had weapons, they had shields, they had swords. But I think something's off when if you can have a state-of-the-art military, but you can't help your citizens in the middle of a pandemic. That's a crime.
I think the question that needs to be asked at this point is, what will be left to defend if we don't take care of home and how people are dying?
That's it right there.
Because there's 150, well, there's close to 150,000 people that's died from this pandemic, right? And like you said, there's planes. We have a whole military base in Japan that is inundated with COVID-19 soldiers. So how many of those, unfortunately, are going to make it back home alive? So these are the things that, it goes down to leadership. What we have right now, we lack leadership. And that lack of leadership has taken us down a path where, because of the lack of leadership, everybody is bickering and fighting to figure out who should lead and how that leadership should look. And that's just what it boils down to. Yeah.
I think also too, Croc Kicks, I don't think it's a thing of we can't. I think it's a thing of wanting to. Of wanting to help people. Right now, I have to talk about leadership. Our leadership don't see the need in it because it's still a political thing for them. You know, as long as there's a pandemic, then for them the votes aren't going to look good in November. And so what we need to so the ideal is just to make it look like it's not really what it is. Let's not pay it any real attention. Let's not put real resources behind it, and then we can fudge the numbers and make it like it's gone and it's really not. And there's no desire to really get to the root of the problem and fix the problem. If there's a real desire, then anybody that want to be tested could be tested, because then we know who's really sick and we know how we can help people. But until something simple as just testing is available to everybody, we know there's no real desire to try to help the people. So I don't think it's not a can't, because the United States can get money for anything. I work with the Department of Defense, so I know they have the ability to get money for whatever they want to get it for. It's just, do they really want to get the money?
I think and just to close, I think not to close, but I wanted to reinforce what Mr. B was saying, in part about that whole I gotta say Mr. B. Y'all don't know what it's all about, but it's all good. Listen, but real talk. Like even right now here in Miami, like all these sports, major sporting leagues are trying to find ways to protect their players. The NBA has the bubble, the WNBA has the bubble, and the NFL has what they're going to get. And then here in terms of Major League Baseball, my city, Miami, with the rush to get back to sports, our team, the Marlins, they I think 14 players and coaches have tested positive for coronavirus. The implications of that is crazy, because they tested positive before they played the Phillies, and they still played the Phillies, right? So I don't know if that's the pressure of having to put on the show to show that everything is okay, and so I mean, I think that it's kind of like, let me just give you this example. In church pastoral administration, we always say it's better to pay for things to get it done the correct way than to try to do it halfway, because no matter how cheap you get a product, sooner or later you're gonna have to pay 3 times or 4 times to fix the issue. And so I think that's what we're watching here in terms of the coronavirus.
Thank you.
With people dying, with sicknesses ravaging certain industries. If we would have just taken the time to do it right the first time, I think a lot of what we're going through now, trying to backtrack, we would not have to do it.
Yeah.
And we're having to do some of these things 2 times, 3 times, even 4 times. And it goes back to what was said earlier. I think it's just a lack of leadership. And so we got to do it. You know, we have to make sure that we exercise our rights and we get the kind of leadership that our country sorely needs.
Man, a couple of things, man, we want to just touch before we transition out, man. Man, how do you think it's best to deal with somebody who's not following the CDC protocols and they're like in your space, in your bubble? So like today,
hey, I got a couple of options.
Yo, mask up, right? Man, so my AC went out, man, and it's a bad time for that to happen. Just bought this house. I was frustrated. I was upset, man. Calling people to try and see if I can fix this thing on my own, because I called them Saturday evening and they told me, man, they can't get anybody out. Okay, let me tell the truth. It was Saturday. I called them Saturday. My ox was in the ditch. And so I called them, man. I was like, listen, man, I got no AC. And the answer came back, man. The answer came back. They can't get anybody out till Monday. I'm like, what? Monday? So, man, I tried to troubleshoot some things, man. To make a long story short, man, I had to buy a portable unit that wasn't strong enough to really do what it needed to do. But Monday came, the man came out. When I opened the door, he had a mask on. It's like, cool. I'm watching little baby. I was like, man, you know, feel free to maneuver around as you need. You know, upstairs, the garage, X, Y, and Z. When you need me, call my name. So I'm in the room with the baby. He says, Mr. Byron. I come out of the room. But he ain't got no mask on. I'm like, bro, what you doing? Now, I've been courteous. Before he came, I went ahead and got the Lysol. I don't, spray it all in the air. You come in, you smelling air, Lysol in the air. And I come out of the room and he ain't got a mask on.
Wait, let me ask you a question, Crocus. Were you wearing a mask when you came out the room?
Yes, I was.
Okay.
Now, when I opened the door, no, I wasn't.
So he probably said, "Oh, you one of me? You one of us? We straight?"
But that's a good one. So yeah, man, I had to ask him. to put his mask back on, and he respectfully did, man. And my thing was, I had the baby in the house, and so I think regardless of where you're at, man, you got to find a way, especially if it's in your place. You got to just politely let them know, man. And sometimes people just forget.
I think where you are makes a big difference, right? So if you're in your home, absolutely. If you want to do whatever you need to do in my home, there's a certain code, a certain set of rules because of what's going on, especially when you have kids in the house that age, So yeah, I don't think you have a problem there. When you step out into the general public, I don't suggest, because what we are seeing is people who, and a lot of times you have employees who are trying to enforce rules who get into these altercations, but you have people trying to patrol other people's behavior.
Yeah.
And that's going to cause a natural conflict, because I don't want you to tell me what I can't do.
Yeah.
It's always that, whether it's right or not, it's that I don't want you to tell me what to do kind of thing, right?
Who are you?
Who are you, essentially, right?
Yeah.
So avoid those situations. If you see people that are acting in that manner, go left, move, maneuver out, hit that tuck and roll and get on out the way, because those are the type of people that have nothing to lose. Those are the type of people that do that to incite an incident. They are not going because they truly feel I don't need to wear it. They want somebody to say something to them. Yeah. They want to be able to pull a pistol out on somebody and shoot them. You know what I mean? So those are the situations. And then the other thing is, I always carry a firearm, but I also just recently purchased a can of mace. And if you hit my space and I politely ask you to and you're not willing to do it, and
Shake up.
I'm in a space where I can't feel like,
Hey,
Shake up.
and I got 12 feet.
But
You know what I
about to
mean?
get
All I
this smoke.
about to get this, you know what I'm saying? And I usually have my firearm with me so that if it needs to go a little further, we
so,
can handle that too.
so you have
Yes,
different
Gonna get
sir.
degrees. You have different degrees. I got you.
Exactly. So I think what's been happening now, we've come to that where we feel like we have to bring something like mace to the table to not get assaulted. And as black folks, we are gonna be assumed that we are the aggressor. That's just how it is.
Yes, sir.
So step back. I felt threatened for my safety, so I deployed my mace. That's gonna be my line to the police.
Yeah. Everybody else, man, what y'all feel, man?
Always works. So my thing is, especially now with trying to build this company that we have that, daily interacting with people. I wear my mask. I mean, it could be 100 degrees outside.
Yeah.
I still have on my mask because to me, I'd rather be sweating. And I keep a box of 50 masks in each one of our trucks. I keep a box of 50 in there. So if one gets sweaty, you got to take it off. I'd rather go through masks and have to buy more masks than have to sit at home. Because then if I sit at home or if my driver's sitting at home, my worker's sitting at home, now the company is suffering. So
not
I'd
making
rather
any money.
sweat, go through it, do what we got to do so we can live to see another day. I mean, to me, it's common sense. I mean, you do what you have to do to protect yourself, to protect your family. No, is it perfect? No, like you said, we all have gaps in our security. I mean, we keep hand sanitizer in the trucks too. But I mean, do we always sanitize every time we touch something? No. I mean, there are gaps in it, but I think, any type of prevention is better than nothing at all. So
Yep.
Agreed.
And I think that's the key, is that there's not going to be a foolproof system where you just do this and you won't get it. What you have to do is take those steps to minimize your chance of contracting it.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, man, I know. And then some of this, man, it's really an accident, man. I remember I was in the parking lot watching this older sister get out of the car. She was heading into Publix, and I'm looking at her like, I know you about to put your mask on, sister. And she got about 3/4 of the way to the store, and then it hit her, and she turned right around. She went to her car. She got her mask.
I've done that.
Sunday, I had to run to CVS to get some oral gel for the baby, and I was on the phone. I was eating little Zaxby's, and I just walked into the store.
You made a pit stop. I got you.
And I did, and I finished it before I got home.
hey, that's how you gotta do it. That's how you gotta do it.
You gotta do it. So I walked in, man. I'm asking him, hey, where's the oral gel? He was like, can I help you? I was like, yeah, I'm looking for oral gel for a baby. He's like, I'll 17. I was like, okay, cool. He's like, oh, but excuse me, sir, you need to put a mask on. And then I realized, I'm out here tripping.
Yeah.
I backpedaled. I went and got my mask, man. But I think it's important. While we do have the right to be able to let somebody know how we're feeling if we're uncomfortable, suggest that they need to wear their mask. But we got to also understand that some of it is cheese on the board. It's bait, right? Yeah. And you may want to ask somebody, where their mask at. But when they turn up, man, you got to be able to diffuse, step away, or deal with what's coming. You know what I'm saying? So for me, if it's that serious, if I'm out in public, I'll probably either gonna try to get to the other side of the store, or I might just bounce, personally, man. Because this climate, there are literally people out here setting traps, man. It's cheese on the board, and you just gotta be careful.
Yeah.
I hold my mask real tight when I walk by. I'll do like this now. Pull a mask, especially like I was walking out the door, and the family of 5 walking in the door. They were talking and everything. I just did like this and just got like nothing. And I just walked right out. I'm like, man.
So I'm gonna give y'all a quick tip too. Be very careful and mindful of how you touch your mask, right? Because the germs on your hand, you are actually smearing those on the mask.
There it is.
So just be careful. Try as much as possible. I know it's not. Listen, we're all new to this in that sense. As far as using masks every day, typically when we mask up on the ambulance, it's for certain patients. You do it properly, but you're only doing it for about 10 minutes. In a month period, you know what I mean? So it's not the same, we forget or whatever. But just remember, if you can hold it on the sides, put it across your face, and limit how you touch the front or especially the inside of the mask. Just try to limit that so you're not contaminating those areas.
That's what's up. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Well, man, we at that time, man. We wanted before we transition to our shoe game, man. We want to send some condolences out, man. We know on today, uh, Coco, they have the celebration of life for Coco, and we want to just keep that family in prayer. For those who are Seventh Day Adventists in Southeastern Conference, or if you attended Oakwood, man, these last couple of weeks have really been difficult weeks. We lost this beautiful person, this beautiful woman of God, man, this law enforcement officer, Coco. She passed, and she definitely will be missed, man. And so we want to just continue to lift up her family. And then also remember the Rodney Allen's family. I saw Keith on. What's up, big bro? Man, I'm adopting you as my big brother now, man. Even though
Yes, sir.
your brother was my little big brother,
Yes,
but
sir.
I'm adopting you, man. Thanks for coming on, man. And it's a beautiful service that they had on Sunday. Both of these brothers were there. I was not able to be there, but Ted and Gio went, and Gio was able to give some remarks at the grave side service, man. So shout out to both of you all for being there. Y'all want to say anything about these two individuals?
Well, these like you said it. You said it all. I mean, it's just been one of these things where you lose people back to back. And I think Pastor Callwood at the funeral said it best. At one point, as youth director, he both of them worked for him,
Right.
and to have to funeralize one on Sunday and then turn around, drive up to
Jacksonville.
drive up north on 95 to Jacksonville, and then do the eulogy for the other one. It's I don't know, it's crazy. It hits different, and I know we lose people all the time, but I think it hits different when it's someone that one for one, and then number two, when you look at that birth year and you realize that that person
Yeah.
is your
Yeah.
age or even
Yep.
younger than you.
Younger, yep.
It's real.
Tomorrow's not promised, and so that's why when we see Mr. B looking all healthy, man, we praise God for that. You know what I'm saying? He fought coronavirus, and coronavirus lost, and so yeah, man. So hats off
Yes, sir.
to all
Yes, sir.
those who made their way to these funerals to help these families grieve, and we're gonna continue to pray for them as the months and years go by.
Absolutely, man. And another thing that we love to do on the show, we like to support Black entrepreneurs. And so we want to do that at this time, man. Who do we have first, Gio?
We got one today. We got one.
Okay.
And
Can I do this one?
you can do it. You can do it.
Right, man. I want to do this one, man, because this is my dentist, man. This is Dr. David King, man.
Yes, sir.
Right
That's
here
family
in
right there.
Huntsville,
See,
right
that's your
here in
dentist, but he's
Huntsville,
Southeastern's
Alabama.
finest, But go ahead.
He is.
From DOZ.
He is. And also one of my classmates. We were at Oakwood at the same time. Man, they have a beautiful facility, and beyond the state of the art technology that is there, man, this young brother really knows what he is doing, man. I'm no stranger to the dentist, man. I have some experience in that joint. And man, I know a good dentist when I see one. He's excellent, man. And he's also become a brother to me. Two beautiful kids, amazing wife, man, just a great family. So if you're in the Huntsville area, there are a variety of good dentists that I can recommend. This is definitely one of those. He's my dentist. And yeah, man, check him out. All the information is on the screen, drkingdentistry.com. You see the number, the address is all there. Check him out. If you are in Huntsville or in this area and you want to support Black-owned business, and you want somebody with some gifted hands and a good head on the shoulders, come down to Huntsville, man.
I just want to give a shout out one more time. I looked it up, and his Glorianne is blessed.
Yeah.
on Facebook. We thank you for our mugs and our T-shirts. We really
That's what's
appreciate it,
up.
man. This is real love right here, man. It's
Yeah,
real love, and we
let's show
appreciate it.
let's show the people that thing again. I want to make sure the camera catches it.
Oh, I thought y'all saw it. Yeah, so
Go
that's the
ahead, go
cup.
ahead.
Of course, it got our logo on it. I mean,
Can you
yeah.
spin to the left a little
Then
bit?
on the back
Can you
it
spin the
says
other way?
316. No, we don't want.
I
we
want to see
don't want to see you.
I want to
We don't want
see
to see you.
There you go. There you go.
Whatever. And
We don't want
Man.
to see.
and my boy Paul Cleveland, college sweet mate, and
Sweet
turf,
mates?
yeah, at Oakwood.
Oh,
So you call the
Andrew,
Sweets.
Andrews University. I mean Andrews.
spell
Don't,
sweet.
what,
No.
Edwards Dorm. I'm sorry, Andrews. Edwards Dorm.
Y'all on something tonight. I don't
We
know.
on it. Hey man, you came for me, man. You came for me earlier, bro.
You trying to come from me? Hey, anyways, hey, my man, P Diddy, we used to call him, aka Paul Cleveland from Birmingham, Birmingham's finest. His
AKA
church,
California.
yeah, his church in Atlanta is doing this virtual rally, and so they're trying to keep their social distance, but at the same time they're going to speak up to the issues. So it's called Stand, Speak, and Serve, and it's a Christian standing against racial injustice, and they're going to be doing it on WWTLBN. It's a net. That's a particular network. Sean Smith, I don't know if y'all know him. He's an attorney at
Yeah.
law. He's a very good
Mhm.
lawyer, good
Mhm.
person to know.
My
You
former
have
members, great guy.
very good guy. You have Mr. Grandjean, motivational speaker. I won't even try to do the first. I'm gonna call him Mr. A. Grandjean, motivational speaker. And then you have Pastor Jared Thurman and one of our classmates, Pastor Rebecca Davis, and a
Yes,
host
sir.
of other people. And it's going down on August the 9th at 3 to 4:30 p.m. We want to call everybody who is interesting in keeping the energy going higher and higher and keeping the movement going forward to tune in and to lend their voice to be able to stand, speak, and to serve.
Yo, also, man, Breonna Taylor. Let's say that name, Breonna
Yeah,
Taylor, man.
you
We will
can't, you
not
can't.
rest
Yeah.
until we get
That's
justice for
what's up.
Breonna Taylor and Elijah McCain. Also, just to let y'all know, in case y'all didn't know, y'all can listen to our podcast now,
Okay.
and we on Spotify.
All
We
right.
are
What
on,
else? What else? What else we
we on
on?
Google. We on Google.
Hold on.
Whatever.
Google Play. What else we on? What
Google
else?
Play. We on. I don't know.
iTunes.
I
Come
can
on.
iTunes, Anchor. We broadcast through Anchor, so we're there too. So if you want to, I'll make sure that we put it on Kickinit316. We haven't put it on there. We'll make sure we put it on there. So if you just want to listen to the show, we have 2 episodes up. We didn't put all of the episodes up, but we have 2 episodes up on there. Tonight will be on there. If you want to listen to the show, you can listen to it in the car. If you want to watch it, we're on YouTube. So we want you to go on there, like, comment, subscribe, share that as well. So we just want to make sure that y'all can find us everywhere, so you have no excuses to say you missed an episode of Kicking It 316.
And then lastly, man, before we get into this shoe highlight, man, can we put our hands together virtually, man, for our brother, our friend Bataski, man? We're just grateful, man,
Yes, sir.
that you took time out of your busy schedule, man, to kick it with us, man, and to share your story with us. Is greatly appreciated, man. Honestly.
Can I just ask you one question real quick?
Sure.
Yeah. Can you just say that your favorite team in college sports is the Miami Hurricane? Can we say that? Can you say is that a truthful answer? Huh?
You know,
The best
what
team
I
in the
can-
ACC. What's up?
What I can say is go Gators.
So hold on. You from Tallahassee? You go for the Gators?
Exactly.
That sounds
It's
about
a-
right.
no,
That
it's-
sounds
it's-
about
Nah,
right.
there's something wrong
It's
with
a
the teams
deeper-
over there. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a deeper story.
It sounds right. It sounds right.
Well, yeah, man. Let's do this, man. It's been a couple of weeks, man, since we've been able to share a shoe, man. And I got something, man, that came a little while ago.
Yeah.
If wifey is looking, this is not a recent purchase,
Nah.
right?
What do you define as recent?
A long time ago. Whoa, that's what we doing?
No, I'm just trying to help you.
You have. Oh, come on. These look brand new.
Man, recently I've gotten to these Air Max ones. You know, that's my new vibe, man.
StockX.
And I love this shoe, man. Honestly, man, it's actually losing stock as we speak. The price is dropping. But for me, I like the shoe because it goes along with a lot of the clothes that I have, man. And a particular shoe that I had that had a similar colorway was getting old, and so I grabbed these for the low. I think I got them at the time for like 130. You might be able to get them for snitching on myself. You may be able to get them for less than that now. You
Less
probably
than
can get them for
100.
right around $100 or under $100, man. So if you like them, man, go to GOAT. Stay away from StockX. Well, yeah, and grab them, man.
Stay away.
Yeah, man. So
And those are
yeah, man.
probably
So that's
some of
it,
the most
man.
comfortable shoes too, man.
And
Some
that's
of the
it,
most
guys. All right, let's sign off, man. I'm gonna hit this. I'm gonna hit this outro. Y'all ready for this?
Yes,
All right,
sir.
let's go.
All right.